Welcome to another episode of Albion Informer, your source for real news in an unreal world.
Keeping you up to date on all the latest news, events, and the great community of Albion Online.
At Albion Informer, we take all the information that is spread across the entirety of the Albion community, be it Twitter, Discord, the official forums, Reddit, or some random dude in-game, and we break it all down into a format that you can digest in less than an hour.
Hello everyone, this is the first week of July 2017, and today we will talk about some of the things that happened in the last 2 weeks. We have the official announcement that founder packs run out on July 9th. We also saw a new launcher coming with a bunch of patches in the last weeks. So we want to pick out 2 or 3 things from those patch notes and talk about those. We will also talk today about the current and ongoing 5 versus 5 tournament that you can see on Twitch currently. And of course, we have to talk about the end of beta weekend event, where we will see 3 different events happening to celebrate the ending of final beta. This week's Midweek Code Watch is brought to you by
Evokes invitational donational. Right now, great warriors are suffering. With their pride stripped, our valiant combatants are left poor and destitute, withering dry on the vine. Will you not quench their thirst, brave guardians, by giving joy and showering our brave souls with your blessings? Give generously, give often, give gold. Evokes invitational donational will take your donations on behalf of these brave gladiators. Evokes Invitational Donational is not connected to Evoke or SBI in any way. All donations are final and subject to immediate redistribution. Evokes Invitational Donational is a wholly owned subsidiary of Shozen's Whole New Gold Incorporated.
As of the time of this recording, the gold price is at 135 silver per gold on the live server, contrary to any prediction I made myself personally. Oh well. But that's not too important today because the final beta will end this Sunday, July 9th, and the servers will go down in preparation for release on Monday, July 17th. Jesus. There is a piece of official news regarding gold, however. Founder packs receive a 10% increase to how much gold you get when you buy one. All 3 packs were bumped up, so legendary founders will get 13,200, epic founders will get 4,500, and veteran founders will get 2,200 gold. But they run out July 9th, so in case you were considering to purchase a founders pack or upgrading your current one, act quick because they will not be available anymore after July 9th, and they will be replaced by the normal packs you will get after that. And that's it for our final Gold Watch before release, guys. Shozen, any other comments, or can we start the show?
Let's start the show.
All right.
So, Bogul, since the last time we talked, we've done quite a bit. You have come back from Beijing, China, correct?
Correct.
How was that?
It was a flight. Well, you know.
Well, wasn't it many flights? Didn't you? You told me you had taken a little bit of a trip. We were joking
Yes,
around
well,
that you had gone to Russia, but you didn't. You went to like a couple of different cities in China, right?
well, no. Before I left, I went like, a little holiday trip, and then when it was time to go back, I went actually through Turkey. So I had a nice breakfast in Turkey. That was really cool. Like I never had like a Turkish breakfast, and they gave me like 5, 6, 7 different plates, and then eggs and bread and like the Turkish honey and pretty cool stuff.
Turkish honey, is that somewhat different than other honey?
It tastes good.
Well, all honey tastes good. It's fantastic.
I think that one was special.
Okay, well, I'll go with honey and turkey is special.
All
So,
right.
other than that, I am back from my little trip as well. Mine was not as long as yours. Mine was just for 4 days, and it felt like forever.
It's
Uh,
July 4th weekend, no?
yeah, it was. Yeah, I did the July 4th weekend. I got to see lots of great fireworks. Had a great time. Spent some time camping up in the woods, and I got to see my folks. It was a good time.
You still have all your fingers?
I do. I have all of them. I, in fact, didn't light off any fireworks this year, which is a rarity. Uh, I needed them all just in case. I didn't want to pull a Justin Tuck, and I felt, maybe I should be careful before we go to release. It'd be terrible. Just even a slight burn the week before release. Just say I got singed on my mouse fingers. I mean, come on. Do you know what that would do to me? That'd be terrible.
Right. Everybody's preparing for release right now. Everybody's hyped. So yeah, we took our holiday. We took some time off, and now we are ready to go, huh?
Yeah, I think we're going to be starting what we would consider normal operations from now on, where we basically work our butts off every day for you guys to put on this show. I'm going to be trying, like we said last week, we're going to be trying some different experiments, but you'll probably see a little bit more of us over the next 2 weeks. But let's get to the official news, Bogle. Let's get this on to what's going on in Albion Online.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Official news. I'm looking at my notes here. So the first thing we want to talk about is the founder packs running out of gold, right? No, not running out of
Well,
gold.
they're no longer, well, they're running out of gold, and that if you ain't buying them by the 9th, you're done. The
Right.
9th is your last day. I don't know what the exact hour is on the 9th, but don't wait till the 11th hour. Get it soon. If you want to be a legendary, if you want to start on the 17th, if you want to be there first day and ready to go get those buildings in Carleone or the prime Black Zone territories, you need to be a legendary. Get out there,
Mm.
and otherwise you're going to be riding that donkey. Woo!
By the way, I think it may even be 21 UTC because I remember seeing somewhere that Enya said that the servers will go down July 9th, Sunday 21 UTC. So that might as well be the same time, maybe. But
Okay.
I'm not positive on that.
Well,
So,
well, I honestly, guys, if you're out there and thinking about it and you're on the fence and say payday is, on the 9th, borrow some money from a friend, get it through PayPal, whatever you got to do, get your legendary founder on there. And no, I'm not getting any bonus on this. I wish I would. Hey, if you guys do upgrade it, do it on my account. Yeah. Do it on my referral. Yeah, click on my referral. That's what you need to do. Pay the
use
extra
every photo.
$30 to start over. Upgrade right to it. That's what you got to do. I want to get that juicy referral link. All right, but let's all serious now. Really, guys, if you're interested in your legendaries, you want to have your pretty mount, you want to have your building, you want to have your bonuses, you don't have much time left, and the biggest bonus of all is being there on day one. Since,
Hmm.
and I do, because I want to talk about this. The biggest bonus
Mhm.
used to be the mount, but now,
Right.
guys, you can get that mount. It doesn't take long to get it.
Oh,
I
you're talking about the tutorial mod?
Yeah, I got the tutorial
Right,
mount the other
right.
day, just to check it out. It was really useful, and I gotta say, guys, it's if you aren't a legendary and that extra $50 or $70 you'd have to pay is a little steep to get a mount. Don't worry, guys. Now you can have a legitimate usable mount right there on day one when you start, so you won't feel that you're 3 days behind because you don't have a mount.
But you need to do the quest line, right? So you
Yeah,
need
but
to,
it's
if,
quest
if,
line.
if after you spawn, you see on the top right, you do that quest line, and then you go to the first city, and then you join the city there, and then there's another dude who has a quest for you. So if you want that mount, do that quest line, just follow it step by step, and then you get the mount.
Yeah, when you walk into town, guys, there's going to be a few people with scrolls over their heads. They're going to have these golden scrolls.
Right, this one,
One
yeah.
guy will have a red scroll. That's your active quest. And when you first go into town after completing your initial tutorial, there will be one of those. And you can go there, click it, and some people say, go talk to this guy for the next quest. You can either skip that, in which case you're not going to start, not going to get that founder's, well, not founder's mount, but the quest
The
mount.
Mooley, I think, yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to get the free quest mount, but you will be able to continue on, and you won't be gimped in any serious way. You can go right out and
Right.
go out to your cities or whatever. But yeah, that ends the 9th, and something that's new uh, in preparation for launch is our new launcher. First
Right.
thing I got to say
Mhm.
about that is it looks pretty, guys. If you haven't seen it yet, go ahead and just update your game, take a look at it. The launcher's nice.
Did you see the guy on the forum posting the screenshot of the World of Warcraft launcher and being like, yo, I know this from somewhere?
Is it really close?
It's all right. It's somewhat different, but honestly, I think it's just,
Utility?
standard
Yeah.
standard launcher of MMOs 2017. So
Hey, look at this. Our two error symbols look the same. When I get an error that's I'm kicked out of game, it looks like the one that's in WoW. Yeah, because some things in the world are just pretty standard. Let's move on. Okay. I'm glad to like. Here's the thing: is WoW is a modern game. Our old launcher wasn't modern. Yay, we now have a modern launcher. It looks really nice. You can get your settings on the side. You can change your settings while out of game. You can screw with things so that your game works when you log in instead of having to log in, change things, log back out. It's
that's
modern.
nice.
It's nice.
That's nice. Yeah.
Server status is right there on the bottom. You can click on the
Standard features, I would
website.
almost say.
Yeah, you can click on
Yeah.
the website right there on the launcher. Patch
Mm.
notes, everything is right there instead of just one thing with a scroll down. It's very good, guys. Let's not pick, and quibble. This is an improvement.
Launcher is nice and all, but for me personally, it's more interesting what's in the launcher.
Ooh, the
Well,
patch
the
notes.
link to the patch
Yeah.
notes, yeah. So I want to spend some time today talking about the patch notes because when scrolling through them, of course, there's a bunch of fixes, a bunch of changes, a bunch of updates, and most of them are, nice to see, but not really game changing.
Hmm.
But we did pick out two or three that we just want to mention today and talk about them for a bit. And I'd like to ask you how you feel about them. So the first one I wanted to talk about is the changing of the timing patterns for the castle fights. So right now we have the castle times always at the same fixed time every weekend. And this is going to change, right? So the first week it stays at the prime time. The second week is 2 hours after the region prime time. Third week is 2 hours before. And then the process repeats. So fourth week is prime time again.
Hmm.
What do you think about this? Is it cool to like get others into the castle game or?
Oh, absolutely. For I want to see how this works, and I think that anything that allows more people to participate is good, because a lot of people work jobs and they can't get there at that specific time, and it just 1 hour off every week, 1 hour off every week, and there's just no way they can get there. This might not let everybody in, whereas like maybe changing the day or whatever might be interesting. Like once a month it switches the day. I don't know, but it's
I mean, right now the castles are on Sunday, right? So
right.
it's
Maybe seeing them on a Saturday. See, okay, I don't want to go into like what ifs or anything like that. All I want to say
right,
is
right.
that this is a good idea. I think anything that allows more people to play is good, and it
I like
also
it.
changes it up a little bit. Changing it up is good. I don't want it to become where one of the coolest events in the game becomes rote, and you're just doing it over and over and over and over and over again. I
Hmm.
want it to have something that changes it up. This could be the first step in doing something that changes it up a little bit, and I think it's positive.
Yeah, cool. Um, Talking about castles and big fights, you always see those nature stats there, right? Those AoE heals, and we looked at the balance changes, the combat balance changes, and again before release they changed what, like 10 different weapons?
They okay. There's a lot of weapon changes, so we don't want to get too much into the details on them. But there are two items that really did get a real big change to them. Both
Hmm.
spears and nature staves have been seriously reworked. And if you are a fan of either of those weapons, check them out. Also, if you're just a healer right now, check out the new nature staff because it might be more what you were trying to get out of your old holy staff, and it wasn't doing it for you. Maybe the new one, which is an improvement over the old nature stats, I think might work for you too, because nature wasn't in the right place before, and I can't go
Hmm.
through all of them because it's like a list. It's just like it goes down through. It's on and on
Right.
and on, and that's what this show is not. We are not going to go through lists of itty bitty changes. But the big change is that these two items have been completely reworked. Go check them out if you're a fan of either of them. And you've got a
All right.
few days left to
Hmm.
do it. Oh, actually, you know what? We just this is I'm gonna bump in here right real quick on with a little bit of news I just got a little while ago. For those of you who were concerned that the game was going to be gone and you weren't going to be able to get your fix in any way, you can still test. on the test server the week before launch. The server is going to be wiped though, so you won't have your characters that you have now. But if you want to, practice
A
that
start.
first start, yeah, you've got the ability to do it. So go ahead and try that out. That's not going to be gone for you.
That's on the staging server though, right? So the live server is going to be down, but
Yes.
the official test server is where it's going to be up. So if you're worried that, oh shit, the game is going down, I wanted to practice my start this weekend, but I also want to do the event. I don't have time for this. You can still do it next week. You can just, see the first half hour of the game, 1 hour of the game to see, do I have all the things I need? Do I know where I want to go? I know some people really are into this stuff, and I did it like yesterday, like 4 times.
Yeah, you did it
So
four
I know.
times, and we were doing it
Yeah.
with a friend who had done it, what, 8 times?
He got the whole start down to almost 30 minutes and like having three tier 3 sets and a bunch of other stuff. So
He's
yeah,
got it
30
down to a
minutes.
science. I'm really impressed with some of the players we get to play with and how hard they try to get things
Yeah.
down. And I love that. Seeing people who are going to work hard to get the best advantage they can. And so we're not going to tell you any of the things he's doing. And sorry, he made us swear that we can't say anything.
Yeah.
So, but if you want to
Shout out
get
to him.
better, shout out. Our buddy Warindy he's great. He's definitely gonna
Yeah.
be out there ahead of you guys, whooping some butt. So good luck.
Hmm.
And
I just said I don't want to dwell too much on singular patch lines notes, right? But I want to mention two though.
yeah,
Moving on a bit, which is the fame gains are now shown in your combat log together with the pickup of silver that was already in. But that was something that I was missing personally, and I really like. And the other one is that oxen right now gain 5% more movement speed per tier.
that's huge.
That's a big change though,
Yeah,
but still
that's
it makes feel oxen different, right?
well, I think that's great. Honestly, okay, I hang out, as you guys know, with a lot of gankers who are not happy about this because, well, it makes the already very hard ox harder to kill. It is not easy to take down an ox, guys. So, your ox might get zerged, you might get, you know, taken out by a well orchestrated group. But right now, oxen is more viable to use than it's ever been. So
Yeah.
that's I like that. I don't think it should be.
Come take your ox, go out of the red zone and say hello to Shozen.
Yeah,
Maybe he'll say hello
come out
back.
to me. And while I do prefer founders like horses, I
Uh-huh.
will take a founder's mount.
All
I'm
right,
not
all right.
against it, especially if it's full. Um, so we're looking for stone early on because I'm not going to be gathering stone. And yeah, that just bring it by. I'll be cool. All right, moving on.
Yeah.
And move on past me at 5% faster speed per level. Whee!
Whee.
Bogul wrote that wee.
Uh,
I just want you to know he wrote that in
yeah.
there for us to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Notes, man.
He,
Notes.
he, he loves to be happy. He's happier than you know. So here's the big change that we're getting though, and we left this to the end because it's our kind of our discussion piece for patch changes this week is that um, item power progression has been leveled off at higher levels. Bogle, do you want to explain this a little bit? How this is changing with the item power?
Yes, but it's probably too technical. So I'll try to keep it brief. Basically, you know that every item has item power, and obviously, as your items get bigger, they get more item power. But what they did now is they changed the progression curve on the top end of that item power increasing curve for the high tier gear. And that caused some discussion on the topic, basically wondering whether or not like the high tier gear is still worth it, and if it's worth the time to, acquire that high tier gear.
Well, here let's give kind of like an example. Early on,
Hmm.
basically 100 item power is roughly 100, sorry, not 100%, 10% more damage and 10% more sustain. So you're about 20% better-ish if you want to really look at it, over somebody 100 item power below you across the board. But as we get to the higher levels, it's more, instead of gaining a full 100 item power per level, you're looking at more like a 60 item power or roughly 5% more damage and 5% more sustain. So
Hmm.
it's a they don't want to say it's half because the way the calculation goes, it's better than that. But a friend of mine said if they didn't tell us in the patch notes, we would have never have noticed because at higher ends, it really isn't such a huge deal. The one area where I see this having an impact, and I believe it would be a positive impact when we see the final changes in base defense as well. Uh, when you're getting a defender bonus, you don't want to have a situation where even with defender bonus and everything you could possibly do, because somebody has snowballed in a situation where they have more access to 8.2 and 8.3, that they can just own everybody at that point because of the tier advantage. If you make it so the scale is just a minor advantage for them at that point with a, a tier advantage of say 2, so because you could lock out the most of the 2 and point 3,
Hmm.
um, you're not going to see that if it's a curved form. And I know a lot of people are against it, but overall, I think it's a really good idea. It force that high end gear more into the very very important roles of where it would be used in GVGs. It's not as overpowering as it possibly could be, and yet when we looked at the raw numbers, Bogul and I spent some time looking at it. It it's not that bad. It's not even as bad as what it sounds like when you look at the words
I mean,
5%.
sorry. I mean, the whole thing is like is a philosophical discussion, really. Like because people see that and they say, "Oh, I put all this effort and I get less for my effort that I put in." And then they say, "Okay, that's not worth me doing it anymore. So I don't need to do the 8.3 stuff. I don't need to get the 8.2 stuff because I can just take the 7.3 or 7.2 or whatnot." And so the question really comes down is that it comes down to is that 5% or 10% difference between the tiers worth the effort of getting the 8.3 instead of the 8.1, for example? And that's where I think some people will have different opinions. Some people will say, of course it is worth it. It's 10%. That's huge. And some people will be like, no, that like, getting 8.3 is way too much effort. I'm just efficient and I don't need to do all this. So I think there's some more discussion that will happen. Um, but I like your first point too, which is if they didn't bring it up, hmm, maybe nobody would have noticed.
Right. Well, the other thing is when we looked at the raw data, remember we looked at just the scale in the tier
Hmm.
8 line when you go from flat 8 through artifact point 3. And you're getting a 40% or greater increase at that point of damage and sustainability. That is a gigantic increase just within the tier 8 line alone. That was,
That
we
was
were,
big.
yeah, we looked at it and that was really big. So, you know what? I understand the flattening of the curve. The more we looked at it, the more because we tried to play like a little devil's advocate on this at first. We both took a little bit of a turn trying to defend the argument, to not do it. And we couldn't find, other than the idea that, is it worth the effort? Well, it doesn't stop it from being worth any effort. I mean, it's still there. You can still attain it. You can still be better. If you look at the high-end gear in other games, you're not looking at a 10% or 5% increase between one piece of gear and the next. You're looking at like 0.1 and 0.5% in some games between the
Hmm.
high-end gear.
Hmm.
It's not just about that. It's about having the best. And this
Right.
time, now it just makes it about having the best. And it's like a pride thing. So we'll see it, used. We'll see it used appropriately. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's ultimately about figuring out what you can afford and what your group can afford, and then making the best of that. So yeah,
Oh,
I personally I kind of like it, but there's another thing
yeah. Like I think
before I
I'm
let
looking
you
at. I
talk.
think we're both looking at it, aren't we? Go
Yeah.
ahead, bring it up.
Um, Note that relic artifact items are not in the game yet, which is a quote from a forum thread by Enya, where she details the actual numbers of each armor piece and each item power, and they have one more column, and the last column is apparently relic artifacts, and that's listed there but not in the game.
They're not
So
in the game.
yeah,
So,
so maybe 2 weeks from now,
well,
3 weeks,
maybe, but
2 months? No, not 2 weeks.
well, we'll see.
Maybe
Bogul and I were
4
talking
months.
about this a little bit. We were talking about,
Yeah.
will we see this on release, or is this something we would see come one of the 2 expected expansions by the end of the year? Now, I do believe that it'll be in one of the expansions. I think they're just going to be preparing us as soon as possible to expect the next expansion.
When you say expansion, you mean like content patch, right?
Content patch, yeah. Okay,
Right.
in a
Not
game like
DLC
this,
stuff.
where,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not a DLC thing. When I say expansion in this game, I believe this game is going to constantly expand and change and adapt over time, just like we
Okay.
saw
Yeah.
through the last few years. I don't think it'll be as extreme, really, where we see huge changes like we did between, or even in the middle of some betas.
I just wanted to clarify the word because I think it might set off some alarms where it's not what you
Well,
meant.
that's what you're here for, Bogle. Make sure I'm not
Yeah.
saying crazy stuff, man. This is why I
Right.
don't have a Twitter account. Could
But,
you?
but, but get back to the first. You were kind of saying something where you're.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
saying here that we have we're expecting 2 expansions by the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And in one of those expansions, we are expecting a whole new set of artifact gear for the current stuff we have. And
Mm-hmm.
it goes to what Burslack said of, like, they don't want to add new tiers, they want to add new items. Now, that didn't mean, when he said that, he said it didn't mean that there wouldn't be more powerful items, but it's not technically a new tier because it actually affects all of our tiers. Now, it does give
Mm-hmm.
us another tier in that we've gone on to, what is it, tier 14 now? Or 11?
Power
Tier
level
11,
something.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it goes up pretty quick, and we're going to see increasing in that direction, but it's not going to be where we're going to be getting a tier 9. So don't expect tier 9 coming out this year, but
I
expect higher power levels, expect new items, and they're right around the corners, guys.
um another bird told me that you know how you get those items. So
Mm-mm.
basically, if you think about it, you have your first ones which you um get through the how do you get the first one? I know which one is the Hellgate, the first tier, the second tier, right? So the first one is your boss mob drops your runes and essences. And then you have your Hellgate artifacts, which is the first one is PvE content, the second one is PvE content including PvP content for 5 people.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the next step, which is kind of like maybe 20 people PvE and PvP content mixed together, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Question mark.
So maybe we'll see those islands, though I did hear those islands wouldn't be coming out this year.
No, no, I think it's more like raid bosses or raid
Raid bosses or
dungeons.
something?
Like
Okay.
open world raid dungeons where you have multiple groups fighting over the boss that maybe spawns like once a week or something.
I'd like to see that. All the open world stuff I really do expect we'll see more of as they're getting more familiar with their own tools, really. What they have available to them. These guys are all basically GMs for us to give us a world to play in. I'm looking
Mm.
forward to it.
Okay.
So let's talk about one of our final bits of news here. We have the big tournament that's going on, Evoke's tournament, the 5v5 International Invitational. And we say it's
Hmm.
international because, well, you guys are from everywhere in the world, so any invitational that you get is an international one.
I didn't get.
You don't get it? Yeah. Well, usually when the international one is like, that's the big deal, you know? That's because,
Oh,
yeah, it's the international invitational. We're getting people from all over the world competing in one room together. One
another
belt
funny
on
quote on that. We have another name for the final beta. It's called third beta. Guild versus guild tournament at the end of the third beta.
it.
It literally says it on stream if you look. Uh, what did we want
Third
to talk
beta.
about?
We want to describe this tournament a little bit
Right,
because
right.
they did quite a good job. I've watched a couple of rounds. I haven't. I'll be honest, I haven't gotten to finish it yet. It will be finishing up. Well, I haven't even finished all the stuff that's out already. There's a lot there. There's a lot of good matches. I watched some of them. They were a lot of fun. Everybody should check them out.
Mm-hmm. Maybe for the background a bit, it's 16 teams total. We have best of 3 matches, about 5 minutes per match. Finals are going to be best of 5, and there is a gear cap, which is around tier 7. So 706152 and so on. And it's ongoing right now. So if you listen to this right when the episode comes out, you might be able to catch the finals live still.
Mm-hmm.
If not, you can just check out the Twitch stream and the VOD that's likely going to be up there. It's twitch.tv/Albion Online. And yeah, we wanted to talk about the content, the groups in there, right?
Yeah, I will say first, I wanted to give a shout out to Lupac because I was so impressed watching this guy shoutcast. I mean, he goes for, what was it, like 3.5 minutes straight. I swear the guy doesn't take a breath. I actually asked him about it. He says he does very quickly through his nose. All right, so I get it. He does a great job, but it's something I could never do, so I wanted to give that guy some props for that. But the whole thing has been really enjoyable for the 3 matches that I've watched so far. And let's get to where they are actually right now. If you're live, you're going to be ahead of where I am. But let's talk about where they are in the standings here.
Right now, it's about to hit the semifinals. We saw.
Okay. Boris here to fix the update. They were a little late with the recording of this, so I give you update on entire 5v5 tournament. Okay. So, I give you first rounds first, and then I go to second round. So, first round, KDS over Overlords, Zorn over Metatron, Mercenarios over Say My Name, Sun over Vigilance, Abyss Blanks, the Infinite, 8 team over Gentlemen. No Life, they blank Millennium as well. And Envy takes down Betrayed Souls. We get to quarterfinals. Abyss blanks Sun. Mercenarios blanks the 8th team. And then Envy, 2-1 Zorn, No Life, 2-1 KDS. Get to semifinals. The Abyss blanks the Envy. No Life, take down Mercenarios 2-1. Good matches, both good matches. Match for number 3. Mercenarios, 1. Envy, nothing. Finals. We get No Life. We get Abyss. This match goes all the way to round 5. With No Life taking it 3-2. Good set of matches. Really good time. You tune in. You watch them. Boris out.
Why is Red Army not in the tournament? Like, if I look at the guilds, they didn't get eliminated round 1, just in case you were wondering, but they haven't been taking part. Do you know why?
Yeah, I do. I actually I messaged King Mojo about this, and he said there were 2 reasons. The primary reason, well, he said there were 3 reasons. So the primary reason being that Hoba was away and he couldn't make it, and they didn't want to end up having a situation where they wouldn't be able to make a round and have one of their substitutes play. And at this point, Red Army feels it's already won. The only thing that's on the line in this tournament is their pride, and if they were to lose because they have somebody else playing that position, they would just get, kind of, what do they have to gain, And the reason I say this is because there are 80 people involved in this tournament. You have 16 teams of 5 people. That's 80 people.
Yeah,
That's a lot of people in this tournament, and there's no prize. Now,
there's pride.
there's pride, but anybody who's
Red
seen
Army
Pulp,
has that already?
yeah, Red Army's already got that. And I mean, I've seen Pulp Fiction, so I know what pride gets you. But that stung, and he mentioned that to me, and that was the first I had heard that there was no prize. So I contacted Evoke, and I was like, Evoke, what's the deal here? What is the dilly? Why is
Mhm.
there no prize? I want an official answer. And she was kind enough to give me her time and answer the question, which is kind of a trolly question. And she was like, well, it was two of us putting on this tournament. We had 2 days to put it on. We had no official way to do the invites to the teams to make it a
Mhm.
completely fair system to offer prizes. Says if they were going to offer prizes, they wanted to do it in a way that was fair to everybody in Albion Online, and it didn't show any favoritisms to people who were just picked out. And because there is no prize other than pride and the joy of getting to play against each other, they don't have to worry about how they picked the teams. It's just an invitational, friendly invitational. And I get that.
That's a nice
So
reason though.
yeah, so I
Yeah,
get it, and
I can understand
it's a good one. But I told her anyway that we would try to pass around a hat, collect some coins for
yeah.
launch for the winner. So yeah, if any of you guys want to donate to the winner of this final, you can contact me on Discord, and I will gladly take down some names and coins, and maybe we can hand these guys a few coins. I mean, come on, like tips for watching it. I'll be pretty honest, and get these winners some coin because it's 3 days in the summer, and they're entertaining the shit out of us. So good props to them.
Also shout out to Gusky, right? Second guy on the team, Andy Vogue. So basically they're casting the thing with 3 people. Is that
Yep.
right?
Well, there's also, I believe there's another person who is behind the scenes as well, and I wish I could remember the name of the individual behind the scenes working on it because I hear they did quite a bit of background work. But
Mm.
yeah, it takes a number of people to make these things happen. The casters, they show up and they get their work done, but really it's the people who are behind the scenes doing all the other stuff. They don't get as much recognition, but it takes a lot of effort to make a tournament happen, I'll tell you. It's not it doesn't just happen overnight. And to get it done for 16 teams in 2 days, I get it. It's quite a bit of work. I'm pretty impressed.
Yeah, me too.
All
Me
right.
too.
So check that out. The finals will likely be happening tonight. I don't know if we'll have our show up in time for you to hear this before that happens. If not, they happened earlier, guys. And you can check out Boris. Maybe he'll have something up on YouTube for you soon. Um,
Or just the official Albion Twitch, right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. We have one more item on our ticket list today that we want to talk about, right? The end of beta weekend.
Yeah, I kind of feel like this tournament is part of this end of beta weekend
Mm.
push for events, but they actually have some really cool official events that everybody can participate in, not just the invitational.
Right. So there's going to be 3 events on 3 different days. So there's one event on July 7th, one event on July 8th, and one on the 9th. And it's the first one is called Rise of the Guardians. And apparently there are guardians going to invade Albion Online, and you can fight them. Now, when I read this, it's like, okay, why? But maybe it's just a fun thing to get like a bunch of people out in the world and try to do bosses. Also, I think because not a lot of people fought those guardians yet, so maybe it's a chance for a lot of people just to experience them. Huh?
Yeah, I haven't fought a guardian. I'd like to get a chance to pop a guardian or two.
Huh. The time is Friday, July 7th, starting at 18 UTC. And below it says reward question mark. Defeat them and harvest their bodies for tier 6 resources. That's it. Like what?
I like that. That's cute.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah, I gotta say these guys have showed a pretty good sense of humor with things here at SBI. I've enjoyed the last days, and I'm really looking forward to some of these events. Like here's one where they do have a reward though, right? What's it called?
Mhm.
On Saturday.
Show me the money.
Yeah, show
Hide
me the
and
money.
seek. Uh, that one is July 8th, so that's the Saturday for you, 16 UTC. And according to the description, it's 5 of the king's tax collectors will be hidden somewhere in the world. One at a time, their location will be revealed in an increasingly more precise manner. And your mission is to find them and rescue them. So yeah, you run around and then you watch for the stream, you watch for in-game, you maybe watch for Twitter, and then you try to find them. And once you stand next to them for 5 minutes, then you get gold codes. And like each of those text collector guys has different amounts of gold codes and so on and so forth. Are
That'd
you
be
going to
interesting.
play?
I'm hoping I can get a team to go with me and try it out. If not, I'll be running around solo, being weird and trying to have fun. But I think that's a team-based idea. You know, you get a team. You know, so it's a few of them. But I did have a friend who said that they were not going to be involved as they are way too stingy to play for 400 gold. And I was like, really? Come on.
It's a fun event. Why not?
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Maybe you
Yeah,
and I will go.
sure.
Maybe we'll stream it, Bogle.
Hmm.
Yeah.
We want to experiment with that, right? We
Yeah.
want to just turn the thing on and see what happens, if it
Yeah.
explodes or not.
I think it might explode if we turn it on. All right, well, maybe we'll do
Good.
that. All right, what do we got? Now, Sunday, here's an event I am doing. I have decided I am doing this. Again, the reward of doing it isn't necessarily the 20x 300 gold pieces per castle, but I will tell you that I will have a lot of fun taking down some players with specific backpacks on.
Castle Siege Sunday. So that's July 9th at 20 UTC. And the goal is to hold the castle in Heart of the Forest or Craig Rudd at 20 UTC. At 20 UTC, I'm sorry.
See, you have a
So,
different goal than me. My goal is to hit all the V's with Armor Piercer.
well, I just want to be part of some Zerg trying to compete about those things.
Okay, well, we each, everybody has, that's the thing about Albion. Everybody can do their own thing in Albion. That's just what makes it great, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the winner of that Castle Sunday will get 20 gold codes. And they will be given to the guild leaders of the winning guilds, and they can decide whatever they want to do with those 20
Yeah.
gold codes.
I'm looking forward to that one. I think it'll be fun. So we also have the Albion TV will be streaming for most of this event, having many different streamers through, right?
Hmm. Yeah, as far as I understand, they have some kind of show during that time. And if you want to tune in, if you don't have the time to play yourself, or if you just burnt through all your reserve sets for the thing, and you don't want to go again, and basically if you're broke, you can watch it on Twitch.
Excellent. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we wanted to thank everybody for tuning in to another episode of Albion Informer. But before we go, we did want to let you know that, like we said with that quick mention of Twitch, we will
Mhm.
also be trying to experiment with YouTube over the next coming weeks and Twitch as well. And you will probably be able to catch us on both of those in the very near future. So keep tuned to albioninformer.com and our Discord. And hopefully you'll get to see some new stuff real soon coming from us.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to our stuff myself. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We got
That
some
said,
stuff. All right.
that said, is it time?
I think it's time.
Goodbye, Shozen. Goodbye, everybody else.
Goodbye, Bogle. And until next week, guys, don't get ganked.